I've been doing Christian education in the local church over the course of almost 20 years now, and one of the things that I have heard repeatedly is people who have been involved in classes of some kind for years, but they still don't know their Bible, or they still feel like a beginner when it comes to understanding their faith. We don't want that to be the case among the people at the Village Church. We want our students to be able to think and to learn and to work. Those three elements are critical to making sure that you don't get 15 or 20 years down the road and realize that you've sat and listened to a lot of content, but you haven't actually partnered in the process of growing yourself. So what do we mean when we say those three things? We want our students to think. That means that we don't want you to listen to someone standing behind a podium giving you their thoughts or their opinions, or even the thoughts and opinions of those who have gone before us in the faith, and for you to take those in without questioning what you're hearing. You will begin to own your faith when you begin to think critically about what you are taking in. Now, it takes time to develop good critical thinking skills, and they should be grounded in a knowledge of the scriptures. So we're going to try to build you up in Bible literacy, and then we are going to expose you to thoughts and ideas about your faith, and then you, the one who will stand before God and give an account for how you've loved Him with your mind, you will begin to think critically about what you are hearing in such a way that when you arrive at a doctrinal position or at an understanding of the scriptures, it will be based on your knowledge of the text or the material, not just on what you've heard from behind a platform. And the next thing that we want our students to do is we want them to learn. We want them to be shaped by what they're doing. So not merely be able to repeat things that they've heard someone else say, but be able to grow in their ability to extend their learning on their own. So that critical thinking piece is essential to that, right? Because if you're not thinking critically about what you're hearing, your natural curiosity will not be piqued so that you then want to go on and learn further on your own. Anytime we put a class together, our goal is for you to have mastery of the content, so to speak, but it's not just that. It's that you would be more confident in exploring your faith on your own, also always within the context of community, but on your own as well, so that you're developing the life of the mind with regard to your faith. And lastly, we want our students to work. We want you to be doing some of the work before you come and sit in a class. That's why we always have some element of work that happens before you come to meet with us. We want you to have spent time looking at whatever topic is going to be discussed, whether that's doing reading or whether it's watching a video. And we also want you to be spending time in the scriptures that we're going to be teaching from before you hear teaching over them. That way, when you come to the class, we're able to do so much more in the time that we have than we otherwise could. The late Howard Hendricks always said, never do for your student what your student can do for themselves. That's what we want for everyone who comes to a Village Church Institute class. We want you to be learning, to be equipped, not just by someone else, but by giving you good tools so that you can go forward and do the work on your own as well.